Hey everyone, welcome to the results video of our water coaster contest. In this contest all the players had to create a water coaster in OpenRCT2 Water 2. Now we got many beautiful entries including this one, and yeah, I will just start by showing which one got last place, and I'll finish by announcing who's the winner of this round. Okay, in last place we got this entry from XYZ Coaster. Now you may remember that, you may recognize that name because he also has his own YouTube channel for roller coaster creations. Most of them are really weird but very nicely done creations. So you should definitely go check it out. Now for this entry, what probably caused him to get the lowest score is he actually got a penalty for not making his map the correct map size, and also having this this rather not nice looking rock floor on the outside probably also didn't really help his score. Now I will just do a cutaway view for this video just to show off his entry. So we actually made this coaster, which is a B&M toboggan. There's a pair of dueling water coasters. They actually both travel up vertically inside this tower, inside this lighthouse. I really like the way he did this lighthouse. And then they both spiral down along the side of this tower, like a chance toboggan. Except this is a B&M toboggan. Okay, then they both do some spirals over here. And then finally there's a bit of a trick track before they meet up in the middle and they splash water on each other. There's also some paths going over it for that extra bit of interaction. Also a bit of decoration around it on this island. But yeah, I think XYZ Coaster ran out of time a bit to actually make it look, to actually give it the finishing touches. But still, I think it's a really cool entry, a really fun entry, and I think the lighthouse looks amazing. Alright, here's the entry from Thor the Second. Now, Thor the Second also ran out of time, so he said his entry didn't look as finished as he wanted it to. Yeah, it quite shows. The color scheme of the coaster, I think it's a bit, it doesn't really go well together with, for example, the color that was chosen for the ground here. So quite a lot of spammy scenery. A lot of stuff looks a bit random. For example, there's some random chests over here. These plants, they look a bit spammed. These plants here don't really make sense to me. As for the layout, it just looks like he tried to cram every trick he knew into it. So there's also a backward section on this water coaster. It all just it's not very easy to follow. So quite a large portion of the coaster is underground. So that also doesn't make it very easy to follow either. So probably lots of improvement could have been made here if Thor the Second had some more time. Okay, the next entry is from Carly. Now Carly actually used the stand-up coaster track. I think this is a perfect track to use for a water coaster, because if we pause the game, you can see these boats actually fit on this track really well, and they kind of look like a real track that a water coaster could use. So I think it's a great fit, especially in these diagonal sections. You can see it very well. Now, I believe the layout was based off Krampus Expedition. It's a coaster in France. So it does several twists and turns here. Before finally here it splashes down into the water. Now I think actual water coaster track will look nicer if you use it on a water coaster. Now the track just ends here, and the coasters, the coaster boats are probably guided by this water track here. Yeah, I think some splash boats track or water coaster track will actually look much nicer, and it will probably look like it guides the boats much better. So it's probably a few too many boats on this track. There's 3 empty boats here in the station, and there's always several boats with guests waiting behind the station before they can finally be unloaded. So with 2 or 3 less trains, this would probably flow much better in the station here. As for the rest of the buildings, pretty basic, but I think they look quite alright. Okay, nice entry from Carly. Okay, here's the entry from Monster Bugs. Now, I must say I really like the landscaping in this entry. These rocks and all the plants, the landscaping. I think it looks incredible. It's very nice to watch, also with these waterfalls in between. So yeah, if I have to say something very nice about this entry, it would all be about the landscaping. Also, I really like this portal over here. That's really cool. Also, some animals moving around here. Something I also really like is this carousel, especially this the use of this Kremlin piece here. That's not something you see very often. I actually had to look up what piece this was, but I think it works very well here for this carousel. The carousel is very fast. It's probably something that would fit right in my class action mega park. Now, as for the layout of the water coaster, it is a little bit messy, especially over here. This looks very busy here. Again, also has a backward section here, like as if Monster Bugs tried to use every trick, every OpenRCT2 trick he knew here in this entry. Probably would have been nicer if the track was a little bit more straightforward, and maybe also with some other track under it to make the track look a little bit more, more sturdy, or maybe even the stand-up coaster track, something like that. But yeah, overall, I think this is a really nice entry, and especially the landscaping here is top-notch. Okay, here's the entry from Volcano. Now, actually, he first sent in an entry that was much smaller, so it was just this part of the map. And the coaster would actually drop down this hill and then immediately make a sharp turn and then back into the station. I told him that was probably not a very good idea. So then he actually extended the track. I think this is a lot nicer. Although, probably not the safest water coaster you'll find. So it goes, it slows down here. And here's another booster section. And then it splashes down. But after that, it just goes through the water here, unguided. And it actually passes over the track where it went earlier. So yeah, that's quite a collision damage here. Collision chance here. Although with the timing, that probably won't happen. But yeah, the fact that boats actually travel over the water unguided here, yeah, that's a little bit weird to me. How do these boats find where they have to go? Maybe they're actually powered and the guests have to control them themselves. I'm not really sure. But yeah, that's a little bit weird about this entry. But still, yeah, this water coaster, the paths here, the bridges, I think they look really cool. Now there's also a bridge here over the water. But probably these supports here were hidden by putting these pieces under surface. That's something you should never do with track pieces that are above water. Don't move them under surface in Town Inspector, because then you get this effect. As you can see, this bridge is really glitchy over here. So yeah, definitely don't do that. Okay, this entry is from Raymond L. He made this water coaster here with quite a cool layout. So first it goes up this lift hill here, and does some twisty stuff here. Then it drops down into the water. It actually travels under this little building here, under this path. And pass over this rail into the waterfall. Then it goes up again here into this cave. Then pops out of the waterfall. And here finally does its last big splash before it returns back to the station. Now I quite like its layout and also the landscaping here. Very nicely done. So I love that there's these waterfalls everywhere. What I didn't really like, however, was how the coaster actually traverses this track. It's actually as if it's buried into the track. So yeah, probably a different track type would have looked better for these boats. Maybe he did something with so this is not the actual track that's used. It's actually a lift ride type, so its own track is invisible, and then it looks like it's going on this track. But yeah, probably this track should have been placed a little bit lower, because right now it's just sunk into the track, which looks kind of weird. So, that probably could have been improved easily. But yeah, for the rest, I think the park looks really nice, especially this station also looks really cool, kind of in a Greek style, which I really like. Okay, this is the entry from Armageddon or Armageddon. He made this really cool water coaster in this section of jungle here. Well, at least think it's jungle. Not really clear, because there's ferns, there's pine trees, but still, I think the foliage does look pretty cool, really dense in all these areas. There's this big river in the middle, the waterfall going down, and the water coaster actually traverses it several times. So you can see the water coaster travel up here from the station, and here it has its first splash. Then it goes, does a 180 here, then there's a second splash. And here it dips down into the ground, then it does another little splash, and then finally here it does its final splashdown. Yeah, quite a cool entry. I really like how it sits here in the landscape. Some other nice rides on this entry as well. There's a train here that goes around. A little mini suspended coaster. It's also this wooden coaster over here. But yeah, this sits on the edge of the map here. Probably a good idea to keep it at least one tile away further from the map, because it looks like it's a bit crammed here in the corner. Oh, I also like the return system for the coaster. So actually here, this is where the guests leave the coaster, and there's actually an underground path which leads the coaster back to the station. Now, I thought this was a pretty cool entry. What I liked most was the foliage in the map. I think it looks really nice. Okay, here's the entry from Colorblind Unicorn, previously known as Bob Kenny Unicorn. Oh, he made this really cool water coaster here in the middle of the map. Inside this castle, or well, at least I believe that's the... No, it's not actually the station, this is the station for the coaster. But yeah, I really like how it travels through this castle here. Castle, I think it's also very nicely done. I really like the colors for it, different use of materials. Yeah, quite simple design, but I think this variety of materials actually makes it look quite nice. So I like the irregular shape of it, and also the way the coaster interacts with it. Now, I really like the way he did this track. So it's actually this water coaster track with corkscrew coaster track under it. Oh, there's actually a shark that popped out of the water here. That's really cool. I hadn't seen that before. So that's just a really fun interaction here. Hope we can see it again. There it goes. Maybe it's actually synchronized with this station probably. So yeah, it's a really fun little detail. Also a face here which the coaster goes into before the final splash. Yeah, just lots of fun little details here. Like I already said, I love the way he did this track here with this corkscrew coaster track and the water coaster track on top of it. It just makes this track look a little bit more sturdy for these big boats. So yeah, a wonderful entry from Colorblind Unicorn. I really enjoyed this. Okay, here's the entry from Lurker. Now, if you've seen a few of these videos, you can probably recognize Lurker's entries by now. They're usually the sunset palette, a lot of small houses in this entry, beautiful landscaping, lots of foliage, and usually a small coaster to accompany it as well. Yeah, this entry is no exception. So first, boats drop down into this little water canal here. Then they go up the lift hill here, and then there's a very twisty track for these boats, after which finally they splash down into the water here again. Now, I think this entry is absolutely charming. It's full of nice little details, full of nice foliage. I love these little shops, these little houses here. Yeah, what else is there to say? It's just a very charming entry from Lurker. Okay, here's the entry from Ethan. I believe he called this entry Black Blizzard. So you can also see snow in this map, which actually has kind of a black tint. I think that's a cool little detail. Now, yeah, I really liked this coaster that he built here. Although it is kind of difficult to follow because a lot of it is covered inside this building. But yeah, you do see it pop out of the building every now and then. I really like this turnaround above the water. So I believe this was actually based on. I don't remember what exactly was the name for the coaster. I believe it was called Aquatrax. So it's actually a coaster which is not really a water coaster, but Ethan did include a few water sections in this coaster to actually make it qualify as a water coaster. So if we use the cutaway view, you can actually see inside the building here. But yeah, like I already said, it is quite difficult to follow these coasters around. But sometimes you can see them go around on top of the water. There you can see it go. So yeah, lots of details here, lots of nice structural elements to this building. I just love the way this building looks. It looks very intricate, very technical. I also like how he actually combined it with these Roman-themed roofs. It's all this modern stuff together with these Roman roofs. It's not something you would expect to look good, but it does look very nice indeed. Yeah, just a wonderful entry from Ethan. I really like the way he did this building. Like I already said, a lot of it is covered, and I would have really liked it if we could see a little bit more of the coaster, rather than having to use cutaway view or hiding the scenery. But yeah, wonderful entry from Ethan. Okay, here's the entry from Delta Occlut and Hobion. No, they worked together to make this beautiful map here. Kind of in like an Aztec theme, or maybe even Egyptian, because there is an ankh here. So yeah, it's a wonderful, beautiful looking, nice ruins here. And of course there's also a really cool looking water coaster here. I believe over here is the station, big queue of people here. The palette actually makes it look pretty cool. So the coaster travels inside this temple here. There's quite a lot of track here hidden inside this temple, most of it underground. You can actually see the coaster pop out a few times, which I think is pretty cool, especially here next to this path. And then finally here at the end, the coasters arrive here at this water track, and here they actually get lifted up vertically, and finally here there's the big drop. And I like that the big drop here actually has several bridges going over it for that nice little interaction. Yeah, I think this is one of the best examples of interaction that we had with the water coaster in this round. Now also some other rides here. It's a vertical drop coaster, and also this Enterprise here. Lots of nice ruins, some foliage here and there. I also like the way the landscaping was done in this map. So yeah, wonderful entry from Hobion and Delta Occlut. Alright, here's the entry from Kazulius. Now this was one of my personal favorites. You can see the water coaster here. What I think is really cool in this entry is that he actually made a vertical lift, but he synchronized it with one of these lift vehicles. So it actually looks like it's pushing the boat up to the top. I think that's just such a cool detail. Yeah, that's just a really cool trick. And that's one of the reasons I like this entry so much. But other than that, it's also a really nice mix of tracks that he used. The B&M track together with the water coaster track. I love this golden color that he used for the coaster track. There's some nice interaction here as well. And finally here it splashes down under this bridge, and then it has this water track which with another path passing over it before it returns back to the station. Also a little cutout here in the station, which I think is pretty cool. Some other nice rides here in the map. I also really like the way he decorated the edge of the map. That's just such a cool way to frame your map, rather than just with the rock wall around it. So yeah, once again, just a very beautiful entry from Kazulius. Yeah, it was one of my favorites of this round for sure. Alright, here in third place we have my absolute favorite of this round. Sadly it didn't win, but still, yeah, this was my personal favorite. Yeah, it's just such a cool looking build. I guess it is one of those entries where less is more. So for example, there's just this grassy area, but I think it just looks so good with this coaster here on top. It just makes this coaster really stand out more. Now, having plots of grass in your entry really can look good if you mow the grass. And yeah, with this path around it, framing it, it's just so cool. And probably what I like most about this entry is how the coaster pops out of this little cave here, then passes through this torii gate before it splashes down here into the water. Also, the part of the splashdown just looks really cool with these river rapids pieces, these fountains, the rock work. Yeah, this was just my absolute favorite of this round. Now, the buildings around this entry all look great as well. I love these shogi roofs and all these buildings around it as well. Yeah, it's just very beautiful entry. The palette also gives it this really nice feel. So yeah, I really love this entry from Old School, and I really hope he keeps making entries like these. This just looks amazing. Great work. Alright, there are just 2 entries remaining. I will show both of them, and after that I will reveal which one is the winner of the round. This entry is from Mulpia and Risiko. Now, it's a beautiful entry with all these really nice ruins. It's kind of like an Aztec temple, what it looks like. I love the way they made this temple, but also with all these waterfalls on top of it. A really cool foliage along. Beautiful landscaping as well. And of course there's also this great water coaster which runs through the entire map. Yeah, it's just a beautiful entry to look at. Also quite an interesting palette, which actually turns these ruins, which are normally more of a beige tint, into this yellow tint. I think that's actually yeah, pretty cool. Because I believe in the story it said something like that this was a land full of gold. I think it is. It kind of shows. Also, once again, beautifully decorated again with a really nice rim around the map. But also having a little waterfall where there's actually water here. Beautiful statue here as well with a snake with snakes around it. Yeah, there's just so much cool stuff to see. Yeah, the water coaster actually also has a cool layout. So here it goes at the lift hill, goes around several times. There's I believe it has 2 splashdowns, one over here. After this it goes inside this temple here. Well, it's kind of difficult to follow its layout in this temple, but it's a bit of a twisty section inside here. And then after that the boats go up, I believe with a vertical lift. And then finally here's a big splashdown, the finale of the ride. So yeah, what else is there to say about this entry? I think Mulpia and Risiko both did a wonderful job on this entry. So yeah, let's go see what the other potential winner of the round is. Okay, here's the entry from Enox and Maarten. This palette's a little bit more toned down. Now, just absolutely incredible buildings in this map. I mean, wow, these temples look amazing. Now, also the foliage here, just very beautiful, very nicely done. I think that's one of Enox's strong points. He really knows how to make nice looking dense foliage. You can also see a water coaster go around here. So first you see some of the boats go around here. Here they leave the station. A little bit of a drop into a lift hill. And after that there's the actual coaster section. where they travel down all this track. Now, really nice interaction also with the paths here. I love this arch over the path here, and here it actually travels around this roto drop here. It's also a beautiful interaction. Goes under the path here and comes out of this tunnel. And then finally here, there's the splashdown. And also a little bit of area for the guests to walk here and to watch the coaster pass by or even get splashed. So yeah, this coaster has so much interaction with the paths, but also with this ride, for example. So yeah, that's just really nice. I also love how the coaster enters this cave here, right next to all these waterfalls. So yeah, this is just a beautiful entry from Inox and Martin. Okay, now that I've shown both of these last two entries, it's time to reveal which one is the winner of the round. The winner of the Water Coaster Contest is... Inox and Martin. Now, as you can see, these scores were really close together with every of the last votes that came in. Yeah, these two entries flipped position again. So it was really close. And that's how you can see that really every vote in these contests matters. Now, we got some really beautiful entries in this round. Yeah, I really enjoyed seeing the different track combinations that people used for all these water coasters. But also, yeah, just the insane landscaping, the insane layouts, which I saw in some of these entries, were really something to behold. Alright, I hope you enjoyed watching all these entries. If you liked this video, please consider giving it a like. It just takes 1 second and it would really help out my channel. Yeah, I just hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to join any of these contests, you can join my Discord server. The link's in the video description. You can also download all these entries from my Discord server. It's completely free. And if you liked this video and you want to see more of this, a lot of people who watch my videos are not subscribed. So yeah, if you like this video and want to see more, please consider subscribing. Alright, hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you again in the next one. See you later.